Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Fable, and today I'll be playing Ansel King. And with me today is the lovely, the talented, the amazing.
Hi, I'm Marissa Obsessions, also known as Abby, and today I'm playing Ruby Red, and boy howdy!
For anyone listening in on this, this takes place after the FPS between me and Uni called Return to Form, where it's a long one. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Me and Uni went a bit off, to say the least.
It's called Return to Form for a reason.
Yep, yep, yeah,
A reason that needs to be addressed.
yeah. A reason that will be addressed, and but like if you have not listened to that, I would listen to that first, so that way you all have context for this. So, so anyways, here are the spoilers. Here's the dish. Essentially,
Here's the spoily bits.
yeah, here's the spoily
The
bits.
juicy gossip.
Yeah,
The tea.
you've had your chance to leave. Now you're here and you're committed.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, Ansel got a visitor from an old friend, well, quote unquote friend, named Errol. Errol's a not tune he had helped, a real kind he had helped some time ago, along with Zan, to heal from a bit of a curse. However, Errol did not trust Ansel to save his at all, and understandably so. Ansel was known as the Antlered King at the time and was a complete asshole, so it was completely understandable.
Also a lich.
Yeah, very much
Don't
a very much a lich.
lich.
But Errol was not present for some character development stuff. Obviously, anyone who's been keeping up knows that Ansel is doing much better now, but Errol did not know
Ansel has
that.
gone through his whole arc.
Yeah. Errol does not know that. Errol was not there, and Errol does not did not believe one iota that Ansel had changed. So and
Mm-hmm.
essentially believed that Ansel was manipulating the town of Little Corner as well as the people that were living in Ruindal Castle, and
Yep.
essentially essentially killed Ansel, which was
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Errol's now in jail. Ansel is better, which is a fun thing to say after you've said someone has died. Uh,
Yeah, like it's
yeah, yeah.
he turned me into a corpse.
A
And then
corpse. I got better.
exactly.
It's essential.
Tell me.
It is essentially that.
It's that.
Yeah. He was not in a good place though for a good 2 weeks. But he left a note. He left a note
Mm-hmm.
for Ruby, Duster, Saga, literally everyone that lives in both people who live in the castle and for the people that work there though. For the 2 weeks he was gone, any of the staff members probably would have been given leave for those 2 weeks just because there's nothing to do really while
Mm-hmm.
Ansel wasn't there. But he left notes for the time that he was gone, and we're starting this FES pretty much on the day that he gets back.
Mm-hmm. Although maybe before then, I do want to know what Ruby would have come back to, like shortly after that happened and Ansel left.
You would have come back to the front door is still very the front doors to the castle is still very much broken open.
Hmm.
There's a note. There's several notes hanging about the place, all of which say the same thing. They're literally put in places specifically for everyone, so that way you would see them. They would not get lost while he was gone.
Mm-hmm. Just like one on every door.
Essentially, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically explains that hey, something happened. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks with Zan, and I will explain everything when I get back. And it is signed by Ansel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's also
Okay.
probably like a little note on the front for either Duster or Ruby to ask Jenka if she could get someone to come up and fix the door.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, before Ruby does any of that, though, I feel like it would make sense for her to just inspect the place, try to find clues, because she's a very observant kid. I gesture at her investigation, she would have immediately tried to puzzle out what went on, and then like while trying to get contact with Ansel.
Go ahead and roll an investigation just to see how much you get.
Cool. D20 plus 8. Boop. That's a 16.
Okay, 16. 16. Yeah, 16. I mean, broken down front doors. You go to the center court. It was basically a courtyard. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
castle terms very well. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no one has really been in here for a bit since everyone's kind of just not there for the time being, and so nothing's disturbed. And it's with a 16. Yeah, you can tell that there was definitely some kind of skirmish that happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Oh, that's oof. I think one thing Ruby definitely would have done is when she did go to Jenka, she would have asked if Jenka knew what happened. And whether or not Jenka is allowed to tell Ruby is up to Jenka. But
Jenka, oh boy. I think Jenka would be, boy. You just put Jenka in a hard spot. I think she'd be very hesitant to tell Ruby. Not because of. It's a case of if Ansel hasn't told Ruby, Jenka does not know if she should be the one explaining it.
yeah, yeah.
But she does reassure the kid that she did see Ansel before he left. He left and he did leave with Zan, so he is she knows that where he is he's okay.
Okay. Okay. I make a note for this for later. Ugh. Oh no. Yeah. I think at some point she might send like a sending spell to Ansel. Or like I don't know what she'd say specifically because my brain is frying.
I
just
guess
like just like a question, just a general question of hey, what happened? Are you okay? Where are you? Just stuff like that.
man, there'd be a very hesitant reply. Uh he is all right technically. He
Mm.
is with Zan and Senema. Uh he's not in a good place at the moment to explain,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows it is not fair to ask this of her, but if she could wait until he got back, he promises that he will explain everything.
Cool. I am making notes.
Okay.
Uh, I'm just picturing like Ruby, like after getting that information, just nervously pacing for a bit.
Oh man.
She nervous.
Meanwhile, cut to
She
Ansel.
nervous.
Ansel, who's currently dead and definitely feeling a bit guilty about that. I think I think on the day he comes back, I think he probably stops by the market and maybe gets, I don't know, maybe just gets some snacks or something, things that Ruby likes.
Oh, oh.
Maybe an attempted maybe peace offering, or if just anything, it's not gonna make up for it. But I don't know. He doesn't know how to do this.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
best he can think to do before he gets there.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine when he gets back though, the door. Jeka has definitely sent someone to go fix the door. Uh, there are now permanent guards there. That will be that'll
Mm-hmm.
be basically that instead of essentially there will be guards posted at the front door permanently. They're obviously switching out so that way it's not just the same two dudes, but
Yeah, yeah.
all the staff at Ruined Doll essentially looked at each other and unanimously agree to up security.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Considering one guy was able to get in, and
Yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah. Also, I do want to put this in for recording because Breaks messaged me about it that Athena, who's been doing flower deliveries, essentially has delivered like just Ansel comes back to the walls just covered in flowers from
Aw,
the townspeople.
that's cute.
I know, it's so cute, and it kills
That's really
me, and
cute.
it kills Ansel because it's like oh dear, I'm feeling things from this. Oh God. Essentially, as he's walking through the front door and seeing all the flowers.
Mm-hmm. Just a smorgasbord of just plant,
Yup, yup. Lots,
plant.
lots of flowers. Lots of little get well notes from the
Mm-hmm.
townspeople.
Yeah.
Because these people that they gossip spreads. They heard about it. They heard shit went down, and so they care about their mayor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So where does I guess where does Ansel find Ruby?
Hmm. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Or better yet does where is Ruby when she hears him come in?
Hmm. Hmm. I want to say she might be in the courtyard, just like directly across from the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that like there's the entrance and then the hallway and then that courtyard that leads to the different other parts of the castle, like the second floor and the library and the study and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
In that case, you
Ruby
would.
has probably been camped out there for ever since she got the message back from Ansel,
Oh,
and
honey.
yeah, basically just it's like she has like a little spot set up that's like a little indoor tent sort of thing, if that makes sense, like camping but indoors.
Oh, honey.
Which makes a lot more sense in this room because this room has like a open sky hole to the
Yeah.
sky.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very open air.
Very open air. They had to put a drainage system for whenever it rained.
Yeah. I think Ruby had also at one point collected like a lot of the flowers and has just been plucking them
Oh.
like just in a way where like she's nervous and needs something to do with her hands.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and the flowers are the closest thing right now. They're everywhere.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's perfectly fair. I think for the most part people probably would let Ruby be. At least any of the very few staff members that might have come up.
Yeah. Like if anyone like talked to Ruby who isn't like somebody she's more familiar with, they just would have gotten the silent treatment. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think most of the staff knew better,
Yeah.
and would leave her. They get it. She's worried. They're not gonna. There's not much. They
Mm,
know there's not much they can do about it besides let her have her space and just make sure
e-
things are good for when Ansel comes back. But for where you're staked out, you very easily see Ansel when he comes back, and he very easily sees you. And the first thing you will definitely know is that his hair is long again.
mm, okay. I think Ruby's gonna crooked eyebrow up at that because she doesn't know how that happened. But then again, this is Einquell. These are tunes. Design shape changes happen a lot apparently, and I gesture at the fact that Ansel has gone through like four in the past year.
Yeah, yeah.
This is this is odd, but not an uncommon occurrence.
Character development, baby. But anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
Ansel sees Ruby, sees her little setup. It
Yeah.
immediately occurs to him what she's been doing since he's been gone,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Took you long enough.
yes, I'm sorry about that. I stopped by the market and got snacks.
Snacks.
On side note from Fable to Obby, what are some of Ruby's favorite snacks?
Definitely. Because like Ansel would know that Ruby doesn't particularly like sweets as much as other kids. She's
Yeah,
actually more fond of more savory stuff.
she
But
likes ginger snaps though.
she does like ginger snaps. Ginger snaps are like one of the only sweets that she really really likes. Just ginger candies in general.
Yeah,
Those are good. Those are tasty. They
yeah,
have like a spicy kick to them that you wouldn't expect.
yeah. Uh, well, I few ginger snaps and other things.
Hmm. I. Do you want to roll insight maybe on Ruby real quick?
Yeah, let's roll insight. Do I get advantage? Do we still have the
I
advantage?
mean, yeah, still advantage. Although that might depend on the rolls being nice or not.
So that's an 11.
hmm
One more. 8. Oh no. Oh
Mm,
no. This is not good.
okay. Yeah. Usually around you, Ruby's more open with her emotions, especially as of late. However, she seems a bit more closed, and like you see her like expression like scrunch a little bit at the mention of snacks, and her just cross her arms as she just looks up at you.
I
You
think I think with Ansel just nods at that, and I think he would tentatively walk over and attempt to sit down by her and take the ginger snaps out and offer them to her.
Mhm. I think she'd let him sit down, but when he offers any sort of snack to her, I think she just takes it and sets it off to the side. And she's just looking very intently at you. Snacks can wait. I want to know what happened. Because nobody's giving me any specifics, Ansel.
Right, right, of course. Where to begin? And Ansel looks to be. He gives a big sigh and he puts a hand to his chin as he tries to think of how to explain this, of what happened. Well, I had a, while you were gone, I had a visit from a friend of Zan's. Someone who is a bit familiar with the history of the Antlered King, unfortunately.
Okay. I I don't like how you started that.
There's. I will be honest with you, there is really no good way to explain this, Ruby. We had a disagreement and
He what?
Ansel, instead of answering, is going to reach up and pull his hair over his shoulder and turn so that way you can see the open back of his dress, and you, right in the center of his back, you can see the star-like scar that is now there.
Oh, I think Ruby just makes a strangled gasping sound and whew, she's just like covering her mouth at that and just staring. What? How? He stabbed you? He? Are you okay? What? And like she's now like standing up and like trying to get like a closer look at it.
He lets her. He just takes another breath. Yes, there. I am better now, but at the time, no, no, I was not.
How, was the? Did you get help? Was there anyone there to? I wasn't there. I
Not.
and like she's like I'm just basically rolling like a general medicine check for her right now because that's what she'd do. She's familiar with scars of some nature of this
Mm-hmm.
specifically. Although maybe she's a little bit too panicked because that was a 4 for her
Yeah, yeah,
medicine roll.
that's a 4 on a medicine. However, Ruby, I will give you that you've been around tunes. You know tunes long enough that they don't get scars like this unless it's something big, either big or bad.
Mm-hmm.
That something very much affects them.
Mm-hmm. There's just her like bristling up a little bit and her just going, "What happened? Please, just tell me. Don't go around and dance around it. Just tell me now."
We had a fight and he killed me.
Ugh.
And Ansel, his face scrunches a bit when he says it. He doesn't want to say it like that, but yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Like, ah. Me, Abby, dying from Ruby's emotions right now. Give me a second.
Yeah, me also dying from Ansel's emotions right now.
Ugh. Yeah, do we both just want to roll insight? I think we should just both roll insight.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, Ruby. Oh no. Those are 2 8s at advantage, so yikes.
Oh wow, I got a nat 20.
Oh, that's a nat 20. Okay, yeah. Uh Ansel, you can immediately see Ruby's going on an emotional journey at the moment from just in it like just shock and just she just stands there in shock for a good long while and you can slowly see it start to bubble into something else into well no other way to say it other than anger.
Yeah, yeah.
Just you 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 died. You died. You
I
you
did.
died and you didn't even tell me.
I
Like nobody told me. You died and
I
I could have I could have helped. I had I have and like she's just like reaching immediately into her bag of holding and pulling out the one of the potions that he gave her from forever ago.
I I know this. I know this. I'm Ruby. I have I have no excuse for that.
I'm right, you don't have an excuse. I could have helped you. I could have. Oh. And like Ruby is immediately starting to pace around, and she's just like holding the potion in one hand while the other one is just running through her hair as she starts pacing back and forth.
Ansel is sitting there watching her.
Uh, I've been worried sick for the past 2 weeks. I came home and this place was in a mess and nobody would tell me any details. I like did did everyone else know? Did Jenga know? Is that why she wasn't is that why she didn't and like Ansel, you notice that like as she's talking, she's like starting to go into like the sign language motions,
Mm-hmm.
just like in her fury. Yeah.
I I
She's starting to like just move, be becoming filled with energy, so much energy that she needs to get it out somehow.
I perhaps I imagine I can imagine why she would not. I can imagine why she would not tell you, and I did not wish to tell you unless I was here in person. But
I
more
think Ruby is just standing there.
for the he is not there now, but for the but the man who I had the fight with was likely still in the jail cells when you went to talk to Jenka. I imagine that would be
Yes.
why she did not tell you.
Oh boy, hold on, give me a second.
Mm.
Mm, I think Ruby just lets out like just the most furious sound you've ever heard from her. Like you've seen her get angry, you've seen her throw a temper tantrum. This is a sound she hasn't made in a long, long time, and she just immediately is hurling a firebolt at like the closest thing, which is probably one of the flowers, like the bouquets that have been
Oh
laid out
dear.
around the castle.
Oh dear. I,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh boy.
yeah. I'm just gonna make just a
Yeah.
general range spell attack because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
26.
That's a
Yeah.
26. That hits. That hits. That bouquet goes up in flames.
hmm Yeah, there's just like a suspended moment where she's just slings that spell out at it, and then it just stares at the fire, and then starts just like I'd say she's yelling, but she's more like going into sign language instead than you expected.
Yeah, Ansel, his shoulders
Just
have kind of sagged a little bit, and he kind of sadly watches the bouquet burn, but he's not. She really has every right to be angry about this, and he's not about to. And he knows better than to try and stop her from just getting this out.
hmm
So I think.
like
So I think he's
uh
he. I think he's gonna sit there and just. I get it with no pun intended, but just kind of let her burn through it a bit.
yeah. Yeah, I
How
mean,
how long does she go?
well, let me roll something and maybe we'll find out.
Oh boy.
This is a disadvantage because I gestured really. 14. That's better than it could have been, but it's also not great.
It's not
The
bad.
DC definitely was higher than that.
What was it?
Like, Fable shoulders, the DC would have been at least a 15 because this is a lot of emotions
That's fair.
and she's just going off. Like, uh, like explaining Ruby's anger in this moment is that like this is probably the angriest you've seen her in a while, and like she's ranting and raving, but not in a way of yelling at you. She's gone silent and is just going through sign language. And every moment she isn't signing, she's throwing a fire someplace else, and is just destroying things. She's just mad.
Yeah. I think Ansel quite without a word probably uses Mage Hand to bring one of the bouquets over to him. He quietly takes the little get well card, puts that in his hammer space, and then just quietly holds out the bouquet to Ruby, just to give her something to burn.
Yeah, yeah. I think she just stares at it and just like immediately snatches it, throws it to the ground, and starts stomping it. And it's just she's just mad.
Yeah, Ansel made changes for another bouquet, takes the Kitwell card from that again, and just hands her another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is. It's probably gonna go on for a bit, and like, uh,
They probably get through a lot of the
I
bouquets.
does Ansel want to roll perception throughout this?
Yeah. Perception, perception, perception. 18.
18. It is subtle at first, like as she's getting angry and angrier. Like as this is going, instead of calming down, it seems to be building her up a bit, and she's just the change is subtle. Ansel would first notice her eyes, most likely, have gone from that green to back to the bright red from long, long ago. Uh,
Oh dear. I think.
there, at some point, her ears have somehow gotten pointed, and her hands look like they've turned into claws, not unlike she sometimes does when she casts Alter Self. But
At
throughout this whole time, you haven't seen her cast a spell other than Firebolt.
at that, then, oh boy. He sees that and immediately just. Ruby. Just says her name.
Mm-hmm. I think she's just gonna set fire to the bouquet that she's currently working on and just leave it smoldering like underfoot. And is just panting. Again, she doesn't say anything, she just looks at you, just angry.
Yeah, yeah,
Furious.
yeah. He. I think Ansel had probably stood up while he had been getting the bouquets, but now he has gone to kneeling in front of her. Ruby, I know you are beyond angry and every right to be, but I think it is time to breathe now. Look at your hands.
Hmm. Give me a second. Uh, I'm gonna roll a whiz save again because I need to see if she's at least rational yet. That's a no.
Uh,
Yeah, I think Ansel, you like try to reason with her, but like she basically smacks your hands away and is just taking a few steps back, just furious again. She doesn't want anything to do with this right now. She's just mad and she needs to get her anger out on everything around her, and she's just and like you see her like trying to like say things, but it's not coming out right. It's just coming out in like grunts and frustration and sounds, and it doesn't make sense, and she's trying, and it's just working up more and more.
uh, Ansel's gonna look down at her shadow real quick.
Hmm. Uh hmm.
How's
You
the
know how you know to look for it, so I'm not gonna make you roll perception or anything.
yeah.
But the shadow seems to be mostly unchanged, if a bit more scruffy, if that makes sense. Like it seems to have bristled out in a way. Like you know when animals are angry and or lashing out, they
Mm-hmm.
tend to bristle and look bigger.
I think
Like the shadow seems to be having that kind of shape, even though the shadow itself doesn't have that sort of expression.
it doesn't it does not look as angry as Ruby does.
doesn't. It seems more like the angry shape might be from Ruby rather than the wolf.
I think then he's going to look at the wolf and just. It may not be fair of me to ask this of you, but can you help her calm down?
Uh, huh. I I have to think. Give me a second. I don't know if it can. I don't know if it can. Like, like, eh, I gesture at them. They've never really had a good relationship to begin with.
I know, I know.
I think you suggest this, and the shadow immediately winces.
Oh boy, what to do here, what to do here, what to do.
Oh, I need some water, because man.
Yeah, Ansel's just he's trying to think. He's looking at Ruby right now and just. Ruby, I know you are angry, but I fear that what you are doing right now will not help you calm down.
Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna make that roll again.
And
This time it's
and
just gonna be a
and
straight.
add a 1d4. I am burning 2 sorcery points to use my bend luck feature. When another creature you can see
Oh,
makes an
okay.
attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can use a reaction and spend 2 sorcery points to roll 1d4 and apply the number rolled as a bonus or penalty to the creature's roll.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you
Okay.
a 1d4 bonus.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right, here's the roll without the d4 yet. Here's the d4.
Ugh.
Oh,
That's
okay. That's 12. That's 13, actually. No, you're
13.
right.
It's 13. It's above a 10.
That is a lot better. A lot better than what it could have been.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, she is just taking a few deep breaths, just in and out, just. And is like just slowly taking more notice of herself in the moment. Just like, just, yeah, just calming down a bit
Yeah.
to recognize that, oh, there's stuff happening. Okay.
Think and. Oh man. I think Ansel stays where he is, but I think as she's breathing and becoming just a bit more aware, he will reaches out a hand and just has it out as an offer.
Hmm. I don't. Mm,
But even if she doesn't take it, it's just a sign of like I am here. I am here, and if you need my help to calm down, I am here to do that. Also, can we pause real quick?
yeah.
I need to kick my cat out of the room. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, there we go. I'm back.
Hi. Hello. Welcome back.
Sorry. My cat kept jumping up on my desk, and it was getting really annoying.
That is understandable. Kitties can be distracting because they are just so perfect. Anyway.
This is true. But yeah, so
I know what Ansel's trying to do. The problem is that Ruby's mad at him specifically. And the fact that it's him trying to calm her down is not the element she needs to calm down, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So what does she
Like
do?
like she feels hurt by him at the moment and doesn't want to do any she doesn't want anything to do with him until she does calm down. Which is the problem.
Does Ansel get any of this?
I
When
mean,
when he offers
going
a
off of
hand?
the insight roll you made before, because yeah, definitely. You get that sense of just Ruby is too upset with you right now to accept help from you.
Ruby, I'm gonna go ahead and say you recognize Ansel's expressions enough to know that he immediately clocks that and slowly but understandably takes his hand back. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he takes a breath. He stands up. I am I am not going to pretend I am not the cause of this. So I am sorry, Ruby. I was it was never my intention for this to happen, and know that if I could change what has happened, I would. And
Mm.
I think with that he is going to start walking towards the door of his study and and uh and leave her be.
Mm-hmm. I think as he's going, there's just gonna be a from Ruby, and she starts storming off in the other direction, maybe down the hallway that leads out to the front door of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think she. I'm trying to think about where she'd go because she's too upset at Ansel to stay in the castle.
Yep.
She's too upset with the idea that other people in Little Corner knew that she doesn't want to go to Little Corner. So her options have become very limited in her anger right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Although the first thing she's gonna do is keep a promise that she made to Ansel and say she's gonna leave a note. It's very hastily scribbled out because she's mad. Just an I'm going out, like I'm going out to find Umi. I'll be back later.
All right.
And then like at some point it looks like maybe the pen broke as she wrote it.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think though, just for it to be recorded, when he notices that she's gone, there's definitely an anxiety there. But I think the moment he finds the note, he does breathe somewhat, just a small sigh of relief. Just okay, she at least left a note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there would just be like a maybe like a scene of her just storming out into the woods and towards the shore of the ocean, which is a good distance away. Well, maybe not a good distance. It is built into a cliff, but maybe one of the shores that are a bit further away so that she can have some distance away from just everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She's
I think while she's gone,
cuz like Ruby knows herself and her own anger. She knows she gets destructive, and right now if she wants to be like if she needs to work this out, she needs to get to a place where she won't cause a forest fire.
Yeah, yeah,
Because that would be bad.
meanwhile Ansel is back. I think he starts. There's not much he can really do about this. He can only wait for her to get through her emotions. So I think he just slowly gets back to work and essentially the cleaning up the mess, both hers and his own.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think he,
Yeah, there's a lot of mess.
yeah, gets that cleaned up. Then I think spends a bit of time in his study with the cauldron, and I think towards later in the night I think he starts on a small letter.
Mm-hmm.
Just essentially it is essentially an apology letter again. Uh,
Yeah, something that can be worded better
yeah,
there rather than in the moment.
yeah. So like he's able to put better words to it than he was in that moment, and I think he will leave it in her room for her to find for whenever she gets back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, uh,
Yeah, yeah,
I lie down on the ground and I perish.
yeah. That did not go as bad as it could have, though.
Yeah, it went a bit better than it could have, but it also wasn't great.
No, not great, not great, but all things considered, that was oof.
Things considered, that was oof.
That was not the worst it could have been. I
Okay, and
think
that seems to be a running theme with these two whenever they have an FPS. It's
yeah,
always just that's not as bad as it could have been.
yeah, yeah. We need an FPS that's just soft and just nice things. Hey, next FPS, can we just have soft stuff?
I mean, yeah. Yes. Yes, I promise you this, Fable. It's just right now he has emotions
I
and she
know.
needs to work through them.
I know. Ansel also has emotions, but he's trying to be. This is also a case where he does need to be the adult, so that way the situation doesn't escalate. But I think that's all we got for now, huh?
Yeah.
You do have
Yeah.
the game with Vamp tomorrow with Ruby and Umi, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz the best way to calm Ruby down is actually with Umi cuz Umi gets her way more than she gets herself sometimes.
Yeah, so just cross fingers, and hope that
she
yeah,
this is a moment where she really needs Umi.
yeah. Umi, Umi, help! We
Yeah.
need you. But man, yeah, that was ashes to
That
ashes.
was this.
That was this.
Thanks for listening. Sorry for all the angst.
Yeah, sorry about
But my
that.
girl has opinions.
But I legit want it. But just to really make a point of how not as bad, not like this really could have gotten worse because the original name of this that Abby had suggested was Burning Bridges.
It could have been bad. It could have been way worse. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was better for Ansel to leave first, I think.
yeah. Yeah. Uh,
but yeah, we're definitely gonna need a follow up FPS for
yeah, definitely.
however things go between Ruby and Umi. I
Hmm.
no matter what though, I imagine Ruby is gonna be gone for a good bit.
Yeah, like at least a bit.
Yeah,
At least a bit.
at least a bit.
Uh,
But thank you all for listening. Uh, and
yeah, thank you for listening.
yeah, yeah, that was
Uh,
that. And
hope you have a good day despite the angst.
yup, yup. And until next time, we love y'all. Thank you, Abby.
Love
I love you
y'all.
too. And I love Ruby
Love
very
you.
much. And so does and Ansel loves Ruby very much, even though he doesn't know how to say it yet.
Yeah, I know. I just
Uh, until 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 next time, folks.
ah.
We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.